From This Corner with John Ball is brought to you by KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word.
Welcome to From This Corner. I'm John Ball, and I really hope you're having a great day. I certainly am, because I'm enjoying a conversation with one of my favorite people, Dr. Jim Cummins. Jim, thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here, as always.
Yeah, I tell you what, it just seems like you don't think you've got enough stuff to do, so you go looking for other things to do, don't you?
Well, I can tell you this profession, this job is never boring.
I bet that's right. We'd like to talk a little bit about what's going on at school. Let's start with the Performing Arts Center. A lot of people are thinking, where in the world is Senior Hill going to be?
Yeah, exciting. It's coming along. I had the opportunity to be inside it earlier this week. We are still projected to be in by April. There's a chance that the road may actually be opened up sooner than that. You can really start to see where they're curbing Hill Street as it comes around the backside of the Performing Arts Center. So I think that may be sooner than actually the completion of the Performing Arts Center. But the road will come out right there across from Speedy Lube and Scott's Rental. It'll tie right across from Patterson Street, goes up a few hundred feet, I think, directly to the east, and then curves around the backside of the Performing Arts Center. So we'll be back to, I would imagine, we'll be back to painting the hill as normal, with just closing down the street for a day or two this spring. But the students painted it last year, and it will continue to be a viable street. So that part's coming along, but inside it's just it's going to be a beautiful facility. They took the glass of the atrium out this week or last week. So now when you go in there to see an event in the gym, no longer will you see that glass that was on the north side of the atrium. It's been taken out. All of that will be common lobby space between the gym and the Performing Arts Center. So you're starting to be able to kind of see where things are going to be both inside and outside of the Performing Arts Center.
Well, speaking of the gym, it's going to be a busy place about the end of November, isn't it?
It is. It's starting to happen. I was down there for a volleyball game earlier this week, and we'll transition from our fall sports into our winter sports. So girls and boys basketball will be down there, and wrestling to some extent with their home duels, and then the Christmas tournament certainly coming around the corner. So, you know, the thing about the school year is it moves along quickly, and for athletic side and activities, band wrapped up their performance season. They went down to Dallas and performed in a regional show. So yeah, it's as the leaves start to change, so do the team seasons, and we look forward to another good basketball season, wrestling season this winter. But you know, our patrons have been patient with us. The lobby's been torn up down there, and we, you know, there were still people at the volleyball game. Activities are still going on. Parking has been an issue, obviously, for the past year and a half, and maybe that's coming to an end too here in April. So we appreciate the patience of our patrons and certainly parents that come to a lot of activities, but we're excited about where we're headed.
Well, you know, I get an opportunity when we have a football game. I sit up in the press box, and I look over at the Performing Arts Center on one end, and I look at the end zone facility on the other end, and I think, gosh, what a great facility, and how very, very fortunate the people of Neosho and of Newton County are to have that type of a facility. Talked with Coach Bo Hessel the other day, and that's one of the things he mentioned. he's got kids that are kind of working out a little bit with baseball, and I guess I can say that, right?
You
this
can.
time of the year.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And
they have days they can do it.
Yeah. So, and he says we're so very fortunate to have that, because I'm sure before March gets here that there's going to be some rough weather, there'll be some snow, there'll be some rain, and they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. No, we are very blessed, and there are naysayers that wonder why we spent the money on the things that we've spent the money on, but just to see the joy in our students' faces that get to use those facilities, that know that their home, school, their community has provided them with opportunities that they see when they go to other places. That's what it's about. I think we've also seen a little bit of just a growing sense of pride from our community, even some of the people that aren't involved a lick, but care about our community and our students, starting to have just a different perception about school, and it's impacting the way we can recruit teachers, coaches, and quite frankly, I think students as well are looking now at Neosho as an opportunity to get an outstanding education, and they see that the community is supporting those students with facilities as well.
Absolutely, and it doesn't stop there. I mean, we're getting ready to have a Hayes Building translation into education, right?
Yes. Yeah, very excited about that. We've wrapped up the drawings on that. And one of the things I think is important to stress, because I got some feedback that there were some people talking about how much the investment in Hayes is. I would suggest when that whole campus is done, we'll probably have spent somewhere around $10 million. And what I want people to understand is we built Goodman pre-pandemic, and it was about $14 million. The long-range plan and our growth are showing that Carver and Benton are 500 or more. They're pushing capacity. That leaves us with Central, which we're trying to downsize and get rid of the trailers. South and Goodman, which are, I'd say 90% of capacity. And so it was on the long-range plan that we were going to need a sixth elementary school. If you take $14 million pre-pandemic, I would say it would easily be $17-18 million now to build a new elementary school. We are not only going to be able to create a learning space that is unique, but we're going to be able to educate 225 students there as a sixth elementary school for about $10 million versus 17 or 18 million. So when I see things that are, school board just spending money, I would argue that it's very prudent, a timely use of funds to get that sixth elementary built and continue to meet the needs of the community. But it is out for bids presently. We're hopeful that the bids come in with the cost projections, and our partnership with our architects and Branco as construction manager has allowed us to really be pretty accurate on our budgets prior to going to bid, so that we define the space, we define what we're going to do, and it's not a surprise when we go to bid. So we're very hopeful that it comes in where we expect it to, and we'll get started immediately and be ready to go in August.
Oh, that's great. It's very exciting. And hey, we've got a new ag building we're thinking about too, don't we?
Yes. Like you said, things never stop. We were thankful that when we did the 2020 ballot measure, ag was right there on the final cut, and we asked them to just be patient, and they would be the first priority the next time we were able to go. This April will afford us an opportunity to ask our patrons for $14 million no tax increase. So essentially, the 64 cents that they're paying for debt service levy now would stay the same. we'd be able to build what is projected to be about an $8 million ag facility on the junior high campus, state of the art. Our ag educators were involved in the planning, the design. They're very excited. And then we would have, in addition to that, right now the board is looking at $1 million worth of security upgrades across the district, and then potentially using the remainder of that ballot measure to pay down on the Hayes building, the debt there.
Well, we were talking earlier about how long the present ag building has been around, and we thought sometime in the early 70s, didn't we?
I believe that is right. Yeah, it was named after Don Ward, and I can't remember how long it had been there when I was in school. But as I remember some of the documents that Dr. Shaver gave me that just talked about some of the historical dates of the high school campus and other campuses, seems like 74 sticks out. I'm not sure that's accurate. But yeah, I think it was early mid-70s.
Well, our ag program is really not just a small ag program. We've got 300 plus kids that are involved, don't we?
Right. Yeah. If you look at the enrollment in the 3 ag teachers that we have, we're right around 300 students enrolled in those classes. Some of them take multiple classes, but it is one of our stronger programs. It certainly is a program that serves our community, is a reflection of our community. And quite frankly, our ag program is outstanding in preparing students for the ag industry. So they were very excited. It gives them an opportunity not only to expand the shop and the things that they do, but live animals. We're a little bit landlocked at the high school. The questions are going to be asked, well, why did you build it at the junior high? We looked at the potential of building it on that parking lot that's on the south end of the school presently. And the issue we run into is, unfortunately, the school building is really built in a FEMA floodplain. And so about half of that land there on the south end of the school is considered to be in the flood zone. So if we built anything at the high school campus, it would almost have to be right on the boulevard. And it just, with the land that we have out at the junior high and being able to have live animals, really just made sense to build it out there.
You know, the live animal part of it is really, really important. If you go to some of the bigger cities and you view some of their ag programs, they have a huge live animal facility, but it's far and away from the school.
Right. And yes, and that's another challenge we kind of faced, is we talked about building it at the school farm. The problem is we have lots of acreage, but there's also a pretty good distance between the high school and the school farm. So being able to transfer students in a timely manner really became a challenge. And so the junior high made sense from the standpoint of transportation of students, space, opportunities. And so we're really excited. We're hopeful we'll start in December. We'll finalize exactly what's going to be on the ballot and start sharing with the community and educating them on what they'll be voting for.
Well, there's a lot of things going on, but my granddaughter, who happens to be a senior, her biggest concern was she going to be able to paint Senior Hill this year?
Absolutely. We're looking forward to continuing that tradition. The only thing, as I've digested all of this, the only thing that will really change is as you're driving up and down Senior Hill, you're going to have to look, if you're wanting to look at the paintings, you're going to have to look at them north of the Performing Arts Center until you get in front of it. Then you won't be able to see it for the next 100 yards or so where maybe you used to be able to see it. But it'll definitely be opened back up, and we will certainly continue that tradition.
Well, Dr. Cummins, I appreciate you coming by and giving us a little bit of an update. Is there anything else you can think of that we need to talk about here for a minute or two?
No, I continue to just brag on our administrative team, our staff that continue to pour into students. We're having just an outstanding start to the school year. Neosho was invited to be one of 36 schools across the state to participate in kind of an innovation group that talks about what is the next stage of Missouri assessments going to look like. So in other words, we've had this year-end map testing that really doesn't help our teachers demonstrate how they helped a student grow from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So like I said, we're one of 36 schools across the state that are working to design a new system of assessment. I think our invite was related to the fact that we're doing a lot of creative work. We're using iReady to test students 3 times a year and show growth. So I think that's exciting. We talk a lot about facilities. People see the facilities. I'm proud of the facilities. The community should be proud of them. But what I'm super proud of is the progress we're making academically and the way that regionally we're starting to get people to understand that we're doing things a little bit differently and maybe a model that should be looked at.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I can probably echo a former educator when she said, do what's best for kids. And that's exactly what we're doing, isn't it?
100% of the time.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Have a great day.
From This Corner with John Ball has been brought to you by KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word. You can watch this episode and many previous episodes of From This Corner on our YouTube channel. Link to our website at www.kneo.org.